Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
We begin tonight with a security scare at the Spurs game. Tonight's game between our San Antonio Spurs and the Utah Jazz delayed by 30 minutes after the AT&T Center, the surrounding parking lots and roadways leading to the county-owned facility were placed on lockdown just over an hour before the original tip-off time, just before 7 p.m. due to a potential security threat. That's after a Bexar County Sheriff's Department spokesman confirmed officials were alerted to a trash can, forcing Bexar County Sheriff's deputies and NBA security to execute the shutdown protocol. With more on what had to be some tense moments, let's check in with our Greg Simmons. Greg, you were there when it all went down.
Yeah, and there were no evacuations at any time, even with the early fan arrivals and also the teams working out on the court. But you knew something wasn't quite right. We knew something was amiss during our 6 p.m. sportscast when the majority of fans were not allowed into the AT&T Center. Our cameras caught when the doors first opened at the AT&T Center tonight, 6:37 p.m. when the all clear was obviously given inside the arena. Normally for a 7 p.m. tip-off, the doors would open around 6 p.m. with early ticket holders allowed in at 5:30 p.m. so they can catch both teams warming up and line up for possible autographs along the railings leading to the Spurs locker room. That was not the case tonight. The Sheriff's Department spokesman added that it was not a BCSO canine that alerted officials to the trash can, but after an investigation was determined there was no threat and the lockdown was lifted. Spurs Sports and Entertainment CEO R.C. Buford issued this statement tonight. He said, in part, on the delayed start to tonight's game, we apologize to all of our fans who experienced delays entering the AT&T Center this evening. The safety of our guests is always the utmost importance. We're pleased tonight's issue has been resolved. While the delayed opening forced long lines of fans leading into the AT&T Center, the traffic nightmare outside was even worse after the security threat forced officials to shut down all access to all parking lots and roadways leading to the county structure. Now, more on that game itself coming up in sports.
We'll see you then, Greg. Thanks. New tonight, we have updated information on the boil order notice affecting subdivisions in Bexar, Bandera, and Kerr counties. In a statement from the Texas Water Utilities, they say the freezing temperatures this week caused a high water demand leading to line leaks, which in turn resulted in a drop of water pressure. On your screen right now are the places impacted. The other counties affected are Kerr and Bandera. Nearly 2,000 households are impacted tonight. Some areas are having their water tested right now, while others will have to wait until the water pressure levels are restored before that testing occurs. People who have questions regarding the boil order are asked to call the number there on your screen, 1-866-654-7992. You can read the full statement from Texas Water Utilities along with updates on each subdivision. Just head over to our website at KSAT.com. A man is dead tonight after being hit by a truck while walking across the street just west of downtown. San Antonio police were called to the scene just after 7 p.m. on Buena Vista Street near South Colorado and South Smith Streets. When they arrived, they found the man dead. He is yet to be identified by the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. Witnesses told police after the truck hit the man, the driver took off. SAPD Eagle was launched to look for the suspect, but so far they've not been found. A 78-year-old man killed in a suspected drunk driving crash has now been identified. His name, Gilbert Garcia, according to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. The two-vehicle crash happened just after midnight yesterday on W.W. White Road and East South Cross. San Antonio police say an SUV ran a red light, hitting a car. The driver of that car was taken to the hospital. Garcia was a passenger in the car. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police arrested the driver of the SUV. He was booked for intoxication manslaughter. A body found burned in a vehicle hidden in some brush on the south side has also now been identified. According to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office, the victim is 22-year-old Braylon Sampson. Her body was discovered back on December 10th near the I-10 and I-37 exchange on the south side. San Antonio police say the vehicle was off the roadway when they found it. The medical examiner's office says Sampson died from burn injuries and smoke inhalation. The manner of death is still undetermined.
In this particular type of situation, prevention is the most important thing.
The impact of the mass school shooting in Uvalde still being felt here in our community, but South Texas not the only place suffering from gun violence. To date, there have been 639 mass shootings in just 2022. That's according to the Gun Violence Archive. And now a trauma surgeon who fought to save the lives of Uvalde victims is trying to do something about it. He tells the Night Team's Lee Waldman how doctors are hoping to bring these tragedies to an end.
It's a gut-wrenching fact.
We can't treat the majority of those types of injuries because they're rapidly and immediately fatal.
It became a reality for 21 families in Uvalde on May 24th.
Once someone gains access to a classroom with a high capacity magazine, semi-automatic, high velocity rifle, AR-15 styled firearm, the lethality is horrific.
Dr. Ronald Stewart, a trauma surgeon at University Hospital, treated patients after 2 mass shootings, Robb Elementary and Sutherland Springs in 2017.
And we should all acknowledge that it is preventable. It doesn't have to be this way.
Dr. Stewart is a part of the American College of Surgeons Committee on Trauma. The committee drafted these articles focused on preventing gun violence and death. The goal is to present detailed research and create realistic solutions.
Work to understand and address the underlying root causes of violence while simultaneously working to make firearm ownership as safe as reasonably possible.
In a year marred by almost 700 mass shootings in the U.S., Dr. Stewart and his colleagues feel change is desperately needed.
We've put together teams of very passionate but responsible firearm owners who have clear recommendations on what we could do around firearm safety to reduce these things.
The committee is made up of doctors is recommending more extensive background checks, permits to purchase certain guns with high-capacity magazines, and treating mass shootings as terrorism, allowing law enforcement more ability to predict, detect, and deter them. Right now on KSAT.com, we've embedded the articles Dr. Stewart and other surgeons wrote surrounding gun violence. Tim?
Thank you, Lee. Here's a look now at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat news flash. Delays and cancellations are causing holiday travelers a lot of headaches. Flights at the San Antonio International Airport, no different. There were 35 canceled flights at the airport and 27 delays, according to FlightAware data. Nationwide, there were more than 19,000 delays and 5,700 cancellations, with Southwest Airlines having the most cancellations at more than 2,900. And tonight, we're already learning 60% of their flights have been canceled for tomorrow.
This one started west, swept east, and impacted almost every single one of our largest airports. That put us in a position where we struggled to recover, and we struggled to get our flight crews and airplanes where they needed to be.
Kerrville police need your help locating a 25-year-old man who disappeared on Christmas Day. Take a look at your screen. Joshua Talley, seen here, was last seen around 2 a.m. in the 1000 block of Guadalupe Street in Kerrville. There he is. He is described as being 5 feet 9 inches tall with tattoos on his stomach and back. Anyone with information on his whereabouts tonight asked to call the Kerrville police. Their number on your screen, 830-257-8181. And that's a look at your Nightbeat news flash.
Quite the temperature spread out there today. We started the day with temperatures in the 20s, and then by the afternoon, our temperatures actually made it up into the 60-degree range. That's where we were later on in the afternoon. And right now, temperatures are already dropping, but we will start tomorrow in just below freezing, I think. Probably upper 20s, lower 30s for most of us tomorrow morning. Then by the afternoon, we make it back to 60 degrees. A bigger warming trend is on the way. We'll talk about when that gets here, and also humidity destined to return. We'll time that out in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Most Texas farms rely on having plenty of space to grow their crops. A Bexar County grower is taking a page from European-style farming to elevate his yield to the next level. The Night Team's Patty Santos takes us inside the first generation of the Green Bear Farm.
My passion to teach as many people as I can what I've learned.
In a matter of a few years, Cody Scott has taken his farm from novice to managing 10 acres of land. But he's producing the equivalent of 100 acres worth of food.
We have implements that will plant much closer spacings, and that's how we achieve that. And then growing vertically in the greenhouses.
Green Bear Farm started as less than an acre, with Scott and his wife watching farming videos on YouTube. It's now expanded to include this 15,000 square foot greenhouse. It has the latest technology to reduce losses like the ones experienced during the 2021 freeze.
And when it starts getting cold, we have these heaters up here, and we'll be able to heat all the bays together or individually.
He's invested in European planting equipment. It facilitates a more compact way of farming to reduce water and fuel costs, among other benefits.
We purchased this equipment from Italy and Germany that lets us harvest it with just 2 people instead of doing it by hand like we did at my farm.
In the greenhouse, microgreens and tomatoes are grown year-round.
We use vertical growing techniques in our greenhouses that allow us to grow 14 to 20 foot long tomato plants in 1 foot square space. So there's less area to heat.
And there's no wasted space. Up here, he's growing solar energy with these panels. Down here, that's where the turkeys will be.
There's also a generator in case the solar panels go out. The water wells are backed up by rainwater tanks. Scott and his wife now have a staff that help run the farm, and he's not done.
It's my passion to teach as many people as I can what I've learned.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Still ahead in the Nightbeat, the winter storm continues to cause delays and even deaths in its path. People banding together to save the life of an elderly man. How long this dangerous weather will be impacting the country. Plus, the White House pointing the finger tonight at Governor Greg Abbott after migrants were dropped off at the vice president's Washington, D.C. home. The latest on an Abbott response and how those transported migrants are being taken care of now. The Biden administration today placing the blame for 3 buses full of migrants being dropped at the front doorstep of Vice President Kamala Harris's D.C. home on Texas Governor Greg Abbott. It happened on Christmas Eve, and now 2 days later, still no response from the governor's office. Today, the White House releasing this official statement saying in part, quote, "This was a cruel, dangerous, and shameful stunt," end quote. Aid workers in D.C. say more than 100 people, including children, were left outside, many of them unprepared, wearing just T-shirts in the record-breaking cold.
It's been so cold that people, I step outside and they say, please, let me in, even if they're standing room only. I don't even have to find a place on the floor to sleep as long as you just allow me to come in.
This year, Texas has bused more than 15,000 migrants since April to Washington, D.C., New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago. It's part of a growing political battle as Republican-led states protest the Biden administration's attempt to end a Trump-era policy known as Title 42, which allows migrants to be expelled from the country without being able to claim asylum. It is being called a blizzard for the ages, an Arctic blast killing at least 29 people in western New York alone, trapping some in their cars left to battle the dangerous cold. Tonight, President Biden approved an emergency declaration for that state. ABC's Zoreen Shaw shows us what travelers faced on the roadways and dealt with in the airports.
Tonight, treacherous weather turning deadly after one of the strongest cold snaps we've seen in decades.
Certainly it is the blizzard of the century.
And many facing life-threatening situations.
I heard him screaming for help.
In Buffalo, New York, Shakira Autry reached out to the community for help after she heard a man in his 60s, Joseph White, in distress from extreme cold outside her home this weekend.
I can't do no more. I just can't have this man lose his life in my house. I have did everything that I can do. This man needs help.
Strangers in her neighborhood seeing her message on Facebook and taking him to a nearby emergency room, his hands appearing to have severe frostbite. A driving ban still in effect in Buffalo after many people got stranded on the highways. At one moment, almost every fire truck in Buffalo stuck on the roads. The Buffalo airport will be closed at least until Wednesday, and more snow is falling.
Buffalo on and off showers tonight, what could lead to a total of 5 feet of snow before this is all done tomorrow afternoon.
Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
See what those folks are dealing with. We realize how good we have it here, especially now that we're out of the deep freeze, Adam.
Yeah, we are. We've had 5 days in a row with a temperature that was below freezing at some point throughout the day. And tomorrow, I do think we'll put an end to that streak. After tomorrow, that is. Another freeze tomorrow morning, a light brief freeze. 70s later this week. Before you know it, we're going to be above 70 degrees. And soon, no more chapped lips and dry crackly skin because some humidity will be returning. We'll time that out in a moment. First of all, tomorrow morning, right near 30 degrees, so a brief light freeze. Wednesday morning, we're at 34. And then we've got morning low temperatures quickly in the 50s, just like that, come Thursday and even into the upcoming holiday weekend. Let's get the big picture. And when we look at the temperature map, the blues and especially the pink indicate the coldest temperatures out there, and it's directly related to the upper level wind flow. You've got that big dip, that trough in the upper level flow pulling that cooler air southward. It's still cold, but it's a big improvement upon what we had just days ago. I mean, we're talking 28 in North Platte, Nebraska, Minneapolis at 3 degrees. That's a big improvement compared to the double digits below zero we saw just a few days ago at this hour. Locally, we've got a mixture of 30s and 40s. 38 Kelly Field, 38 Bulverde, 42 San Antonio International, 48 meanwhile in Seguin and Hondo at 39. We'll start the day tomorrow right around 30 degrees. So 29 Canyon Lake, 29 Rio Medina. Stinson on the south side, about 31 degrees. I think around San Antonio, mostly 30 degrees. So a brief light freeze, and then by the afternoon, with a lot of sunshine, right up near 60 degrees. Not quite as warm as what we had today, but a pleasant and comfortable and close to average afternoon. And you look at our afternoon temperature trend. By Wednesday, we're up to 67. We're above average. And then we climb well above average by a good 10 degrees Friday into this upcoming weekend. We're talking mid 70s for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Okay. Dew points, true measure of the moisture in the air. If you suffer from dry, crackly skin in this kind of weather and chapped lips, just a few more days and it's not going to be an issue. No more lip balm required by Wednesday, Thursday. Take a look at our dew point trend. We'll get that flow off the Gulf of Mexico. Wednesday, dew points rise into the 40s. By Thursday, actually feeling a little humid out there. The dew point of 61. It's cold air is always very dry air, and so that's why you get that dry skin and chapped lips in this kind of weather after those strong cold fronts. Now, speaking of snow and cold air, as far south as Mississippi and even Alabama, we're seeing wintry precipitation and snow from this system that's pushing eastward and that dip in the upper level flow. Otherwise, big story, heavy rainfall on the western coast of the U.S. Unfortunately, that's all staying away from us. We're not going to tap into any of it. Thursday, 20% chance of a shower. Monday, a 20% chance of a brief storm. So here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. 30 degrees at 7 a.m. By noon, we're up to 52. Then about 3 o'clock, we'll hit 60 degrees for the high temperature. And milder weather, above freezing mornings starting Wednesday, and also morning fog Wednesday and Thursday. Something to plan around if hitting the roads.
Looking much better. Thank you, Adam. All right, Greg, you told us about the security scare earlier in the game. After all of that was cleared, we did have a game.
Yeah, and it was a very good game for the Spurs because really they played very well from start to finish. They gave us a little scare there late in the fourth quarter, but they're able to jump the Jazz. When we come back, we'll show you how they were able to do it at the AT&T Center, even though it was about a 30-minute delay to get the game going. And fun at SeaWorld, or is it? This will not be fun for me. All right, coming up. In a bowl game is the fun that goes along with it, and the Texas Longhorns are having their fair share at SeaWorld this afternoon aboard the tidal surge in big board sports. But first, it's game day. Former Spurs assistant Will Hardy, second youngest head coach of the NBA, making his first trip back to the AT&T Center as the head coach of the Jazz. Spurs start off fast tonight. Trey Jones gives it ahead to Keldon Johnson for the easy bucket and a 6-point lead. Jazz call a timeout. Doug McDermott getting into the paint for the bucket of the foul. Spurs up by 9. Time winding down. Stanley Johnson finds a cutting McDermott, who gets the baseline floater to fall at the buzzer. 31-26 Spurs. The Spurs lead grows to a dozen when Jones steps in front of the pass for the steal. Tight ropes the sideline, gets a reverse layup to fall. 63-56 Spurs going into the third. Spurs sharing the ball in the third. Devin Vassell driving to the hoop. The behind the back pass to Trey Jones in the corner for the 3. Keldon finds Jeremy Sohan along the baseline. He slams it down for a 17-point Spurs lead. Keldon in the sharing mood finds Malachi Branham in the far corner for the three, and the Spurs lead is up to 20. The Jazz cut the Spurs lead down to 4 late. Trey Jones responds to the floater in the lane. It goes up, off the back of the rim and in. Spurs up 6 after a Jazz three-pointer. Jones attacks the rim and gets the impossible layup off the glass to seal the win. Vassell led the Spurs at 24. Keldon chipped in 21. Spurs hold on for the win, 126-122.
We continue to have each other's back through thick and thin of the game. And, you know, like you said, we persevered and came out on top. I feel like they're a good team. And you know, good teams make runs. And, you know, we withstood their run and, you know, we won a game.
All right, Gumball rallied to the airport right now because they got aboard their charter, head to Oklahoma City for tomorrow's game at 7 p.m.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
There is still an outside chance the Cowboys could win the NFC East, but they would have to win out against both the Titans and the Commanders, and the Eagles would have to lose out to the Saints and the Giants. So is there still hope of winning the division?
Hey, if they go and help us out and drop a couple of games, hell yeah, we're going to take the title. I mean, that's awesome. But we have no say-so in that at this point. All we can do is continue to win out and hope on that. And I'm not a guy that hopes on a lot of failure. So obviously I want the title, and that'd be great. But that's just getting into distractions that don't really pay us anything forward.
All right, the Denver Broncos have fired their head coach Nathaniel Hackett in just his first season after that embarrassing loss to 51-14 to the Los Angeles Rams. They have left the Broncos at 4-11, according to ESPN. Former Ravens assistant Jerry Rosburg, who was hired by the new ownership group in September to assist in the in-game management decisions, be the interim head coach. The Washington Huskies have arrived and have already had their first workout. And what did the Longhorns defense think of the Huskies' potent offense? Next. The Washington Huskies arrived in San Antonio Christmas Day night at 9 p.m. Did not waste any time hitting the practice field of the University of the Incarnate Word this afternoon at the Gale and Tom Benson Stadium. What is strange if you are a Husky fan is the fact that they are 3.5-point to 4-point underdogs, despite the fact they're 10-2 and Texas is 8-4. And if you take a look into the effect that the Huskies are ranked 12th in the nation, Longhorns are ranked 20th and are still underdogs. When is the last time a 10-win team was that?
Outside noise, we really don't be focused on that. You know, we just focus on what we can control and what we can do in our room to make sure that we're pushing each other to be great on the football field when it comes game day. So, you know, as far as the underdog thing, you know, man, we like it, man. We like being in this position. We just want to go out there and show what we can do as an offense, as a unit.
Texas Longhorns continue their workouts at Trinity University with kickoff now just 3 days away and their 6th appearance ever in the Valero Alamo Bowl. They held their first official press conference today featuring Longhorns defense, which has its work cut out for them on Thursday. That's because the Huskies boast the nation's 5th-ranked offense led by quarterback Michael Penix, who leads the country with 4,354 yards and 29 touchdowns, even though UIW's Lindsey Scott has 4,657 yards and 60 touchdowns in the FCS. While Washington's offensive line has already only allowed 7 sacks this season. So what Big 12 team does Washington remind Texas of?
Looking like probably Texas Tech because, you know, Texas Tech likes to throw the ball a lot, and they're going to play at 4-down plays. I mean, not even on 3rd down. They're going to play on 4th down. And we've seen a lot of that from Washington.
But it would be a good battle on 50-50 balls at the end of the day. At the end of the day, our back end and our DBs, we're going to be ready to play, and it's going to be a great matchup.
And if the Longhorns riding the tallest and fastest screaming swing in the world wasn't enough, players, we're getting to know the Dolphins at SeaWorld. These are members of the Washington Huskies and include starting quarterback Michael Penix, junior running back Cameron Davis, safety Alex Cook today. That looks like a lot of fun. That's the thing about a bowl game you have to love. Yeah. There's a lot of fun things to do. That pep rallies, which you're going to have to, and big luncheons. So have fun while you're here.
A little fun, then we fit in some football.
Big football, yes.
Thanks, Greg.
You got it.
We'll be right back.
30 in the morning tomorrow, 60 in the afternoon. Then we're just above freezing Wednesday morning, breaking our streak of consecutive days with a freeze. But notice we'll be well into the 70s this upcoming weekend. Sunny, mid-70s with mornings close to 50. There you go, Tim.
Looking good. Thank you, Adam. And thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget, Good Morning San Antonio starts bright and early at 4:30. Have a good night.